Okay, so here's Tracy Daviero from Your VA Mentor. Thanks for being with me. Today we're talking about goal setting success, and basically I just want to take you through this pretty little flow chart that I put together. I don't know, is that called a flow chart? I don't know, it's a chart of some kind anyway. And I just want to take you through the process that I always recommend for goal setting. What I find when people start to set goals in their business is that they don't get specific enough. And as a result, they sometimes fail to achieve the goals that they set for themselves. And so it can be really discouraging whenever when you're setting a goal and you don't really have a great plan or a strategy or something like that in place, and it doesn't work for you, right? It can be really frustrating, and it can even be worse. Just a sec. It can be really worse. When you go to set another goal, or when someone like me tells you that you should be setting goals. So what I do is I take things down to very small tasks and very small kind of action steps on every goal. And this is a really good way to sort of propel yourself forward as you are moving towards your goal. Okay, it helps you to do things in little bite-sized pieces and be able to kind of move move through certain steps, achieve a certain level, keep moving along, and until you reach your eventual goal. So I just want to take you through my little flow chart here. So we begin always with an idea. And of course, all goals come from ideas, whether you want to, build your business to include different services, or, expand your marketing reach, or if you want to get new clients, or if you want to finish your business plan, whatever it is that your goal particularly is, you want to be able to keep track of those ideas. So I often suggest brainstorming ideas if you can. Some creative people don't need to brainstorm because they just come up with these brilliant ideas all the time. I myself am not so right-brained, so I'm not so creative. I'm definitely a lefty, a logical person, and so it's important for me to really sit down and think about things on a regular basis whenever I need to do my brainstorming. So I like to keep things in a notebook. I'm a spiral notebook person. I have a million of them hanging around, and that's sort of where all my ideas go to. That way I know where they are whenever I need them, whenever I decide I'm going to sit down and put together a strategy for a goal that I want to achieve. You can use computer if you prefer. You can set up detailed folders and that kind of thing with different topics, whatever you want. For me, it's really simple, just to kind of keep things very simply into a book. Some people also like to use services like Evernote, which are pretty cool. I do use Evernote. I don't use it exclusively, for sure, and I find that whenever I want to sort of flesh out any of my ideas, I kind of forget to go there because I just sort of go back to my spiral book. So anyway, it's up to you whichever you want to use, but basically the idea is write it down, because looking for the details that you think of that are associated with any particular goal is going to be a lot easier when you keep them all together. So that's number one, is starting with the idea, and then the idea turns into a goal. So we can look at one of those things that we've got written down, whether, like I say, whether it's expanding our audience, whether it's getting more clients, or finishing our business plan, any of those things. We want to be able to set our goal at this point. So pick one of those things, and we'll go with the client one because it's a very common goal that people like to set. You want to make sure that you're very specific on what it is that you want, okay? So we've talked about SMART goal setting, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely, and it's no different here. You want to be able to take that goal and really be specific about it, not about, building your clients. You want to get 10 new clients. Well, you want to look at very specifically when you want to get them by, how you're going to get them, where you're going to find them, like the steps you're going to take when you do find them, and when you need to do all these things by. And so if you're just looking at saying I want 10 new, I just want to get 10 new clients, or I just want to get a bunch of new clients, whatever it is, or maybe it's a revenue goal. I want to bring in $2,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 a month, and you want to put a deadline on it. You want to be really specific. How are you going to do? How are you going to bring the money in? Where are you going to get it? How are you going to set up your steps so that you can actually achieve that goal? Because it really is possible to achieve just about anything that you set as a goal, as long as you follow these steps, right? So after you have your main goal set, and you know that it's very specific, and you can use the worksheet that's at the bottom of this handout, to do that, really get specific about it and know what it is that you are going to be working towards. Then you set a deadline for it. And so you literally go to your calendar and you set your end goal deadline, and you want to be able to say, okay, this is when I'm going to have this in place. What that does is it shows you sort of the dates between now and then, and as you start to break down your tasks and put those in, you're going to be able to see whether your goal is achievable or not, without overloading you and without overworking you, and with giving you enough time to do everything that you need to do. So we just pick a date, like I say, and work back today and look at everything, and really, determine that you're giving yourself enough time to do it. But you don't want to also stretch out too far, stretch yourself too thin that you're not focused enough. So it's a little bit of a balance, and it's an important step. So the next piece we want to do is break down the tasks, and this is the most important part, in my opinion, of goal setting, because what it helps you do is it really helps you break things down into what you need to do to accomplish the main goal. So in our worksheet we say, okay, what are the things that we need to do? So if we are looking at clients, if we're looking at increasing clients, well, we need to find out where the potential clients are, right? So that might take some research. We need to reach out to them and start to build some relationships with them, so that might take some time. We need to produce some content so that whenever they go looking at us, looking for us online, where it basically backs up what we are representing ourselves as. So again, that may take some time. We want to actually get these people into sales conversations. So we need to be able to bring them into our funnel or our audience or whatever it is you want to call that, and you want to be able to allow enough time, or allow the proper steps so that they can actually connect with you, and then get them on the phone and do the sales conversation and sell them into your services. Now, another piece of getting clients might be what your message is, and whether your message is specific enough and detailed enough and speaks enough to your potential clients. So you may have to do some work on that, or you may have to, once you get people on the phone, maybe you're not converting people very quickly, so maybe you need to increase your sales skills and that kind of thing. So you see what I mean? There are a lot of things that you can do to break down the task to what it is that you want to be able to do. So you want to really look at all of those things and then select what it is that you need to work on. So, okay, I need to, reach out to people, every day, 3 people every day on LinkedIn. I want to, spend 15 minutes sending emails to people who have been colleagues or, could be strategic partners for me. Whatever those things are, you want to be able to break down the tasks into really small pieces, okay? And then what you can do is you can look at that calendar and you can say, okay, well, let me see, if I want to do some more networking on LinkedIn because that's really effective for me, how many times a week do I have to do this? You don't have to sit down, and in fact, I encourage you not to sit down for 2 hours at a time to try to, complete one of the action steps for your goal. I encourage you to do it in very small chunks. I often suggest 15 or 20 minutes, and people are surprised by that. And I think it's really important to be able to supplement what you're doing now with really focused networking, with really focused marketing, with really focused whatever you need to do in terms of getting your goal done. Okay, so breaking these things down to really small pieces seems to be a surprise to people, so I often definitely mention that. And of course, once we have the tasks broken down, then we set deadlines for those. As I say, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to be on LinkedIn, and I'm not going to be there. I'm going to have a very specific goal. I'm going to reach out to this number of people. I'm going to tell them about this. I'm going to, ask these number of questions, whatever it is. You want to get really specific with what it is you're going to do, and then put those things on the calendar as well and make sure that you get them done. As I say, your calendar is your friend. You want to make sure that you don't overload yourself and you don't end up playing catch up at the end of the week. Smallest pieces is the easiest way to keep walking towards your goal. And then once you have it all calendared out and everything looks good and you say, okay, great, do I really only have to do 15 minutes a day in order to get to my goal? And can I really take the weekends off? Of course you can, because you have a really solid strategy in place and a really solid plan with your action steps. And so the next step is, of course, accountability, making sure that you're doing the things that you said you wanted to do. And accountability works for 2 things, okay? It helps keep you motivated so that you will keep moving forward. It also helps to make sure that you're doing what you said you were going to do, because in order to figure out whether your goal is working or not, your goal strategy is working or not, it's important to assess it regularly, right? You need to be able to look at it and say, you know what, I've been doing what I said I was going to do in LinkedIn and it's just not being effective for me. So let's assess it. What do I need? What maybe do I have to do to adjust what I'm doing? Again, like I say, it could be your message, it could be your marketing message, it could be, the people you're reaching out to, you're not reaching out to the right people, or maybe, you're not saying the right things. And so there are all kinds of things that can sort of derail a plan, and the accountability piece is really important, because the more often you're looking in on things and really gauging why things are working or why they are not, then you can make adjustments. So I encourage you to have an accountability partner if possible. Just somebody who can help keep you on track. Like I say, it can be, it can be a group of people, like the people in our group, or it can be just an individual. And I think it's just a really good thing to have in place, because if you never tell anybody about something, then there's no real push for you to get it done. You can just say, oh, you know what, I'll do that tomorrow. Well, I'll do that tomorrow, or this isn't working, I'm just going to shelve it. And you don't want to do that. You want to be able to be working on things because you want to be able to achieve that goal, whatever your goal is. And then after we do the accountability, as I say, that's when you make your adjustments. If the reason that you're not getting any clients is that your sales conversations, you're not reaching out to enough people to get sales conversations, well, then maybe you have to increase the number of people that you're asking for that. Maybe that wasn't one of your action steps. You didn't realize that. Maybe you have to add that in. So whatever your adjustments need to be, if you find something that's working in your plan, keep doing it. Maybe do more of it, right? And if you're working on something that is not working for you, obviously you need to change it. And maybe you need to change or tweak a concept within it, or maybe you need to just pull it all way out together and say, you know what, LinkedIn is not the thing that's working for me. I seem to be having a lot more success on Facebook or at my weekly breakfast meeting, whatever it is, right? So these are the things that you want to be able to do, and you want to be able to really, groom your strategy as it goes along. And the reason that you want to do that, particularly when you're looking at, something like a client goal, or something like that. If it's a recurring goal, something that you will want to be able to set on a regular basis, you want to really nail this process down, this whole process, because then you can repeat it, right? Once you get, say, your 3 clients or 10 clients or whatever they are, you can repeat this process anytime you want, because you have a really good step-by-step instruction for yourself that maybe, another 6 months down the road, you can repeat it just like that. So that's why this is so important. And then, of course, if we do all this stuff, ideally what we get at the end is we get the goal success. And like I say, whenever you get to that point, it really makes you excited to go all the way back up here and start all over again. So that is our goal setting success. I use it, I teach it, and it really does work. It's just a matter of getting really focused and really specific, and setting deadlines for yourself, chunking down your tasks into the smallest pieces so that it's not bothersome for you to do, and it fits into your daily schedule. And it's about making sure that you do the things that you say you're going to do, and making adjustments to those things that are not working for you, or repeating the things that are working for you and doing more of them so that you can see more success. So I welcome you to fill in the worksheet at the bottom and to get your goal set. And if you need any help with it, I please would love to help you. Tracy@yourviamentor.com. Just reach out, let me know, and I'd love to help you set up your action steps and get you moving in towards your goal success. Thanks very much. Have a great day.